class. Everything you ever wanted to know about Broadway but were afraid to ask, this is the class to ask. And a little later today, you're going to be hearing from our guest speaker, Broadway executive Wendy Auchan, that you've all received her bio on her company, and she's a wonderful and very talented individual, what she does, and also attended Brooklyn College, so pretty exciting day. So I'm going to start off by just telling you how I got into Broadway, because as you've learned over the last 5-6 weeks, some of these things happen by accident, some of them happen on design. This one was really an accident. I mean, how I ended up on Broadway, and then this long line of shows that I've been associated with over the last 3 years was amazing. So Brooklyn College alumnus Roy Furman, who I've mentioned to you before, is chairman of Jeffries and Company, the investment bank. He's also a prolific Broadway producer. He's produced some of the biggest shows on Broadway. And he did that as a kind of like a sideline business 25 years ago. And he told me how he got into this and how exciting Broadway was for him and his wife and his kids. Before you know it, he was the lead producer, The Color Purple, Spamalot, The Book of Mormon, Evita, The Addams Family. It goes on and on, the number of shows that he's been associated with. You can cross on over. So here's my list over the last 3 years in Broadway. And boy, they add up really very, very quick. So we started out with The Book of Mormon on Broadway, which then turned out to be a total of 4 shows, which include The Book of Mormon Chicago, that has a full-time show house, The Book of Mormon Touring Company, that is currently, I believe, in St. Louis, because I get calls from people who want tickets for their kids who go to colleges, so I know where these shows are by those phone calls. Relatively Speaking was a show, 3 one-act plays. Woody Allen was one of the people who wrote one of the acts. Mountaintop with Samuel L. Jackson and Angela Bassett, which was a fabulous play. On a Clear Day, You Can See Forever. That was my only total wipeout. I lost $25,000 on that show. The Addams Family Touring Company did quite well. That's the company that went around. I didn't get to go in on the Addams Family on Broadway because I was not even on Broadway. I didn't even know about Broadway back then, but I was able to get into the touring company. Evita with Ricky Martin. The Heiress, which I've left you all some posters today to take back with you. This was the first show that I was actually a named producer, you know, which gets you on the poster and it gets your name on playbill, which is a very cool thing, I have to admit. You know, I was much more taken with it than I thought. When people like Sevi just told me her sister or her friend, her mother went to see Cinderella, and they brought home the playbill, and she said, "Oh my God, here's my professor in the playbill." So it's a pretty cool thing. Annie, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Cinderella, which you just mentioned, a new play called Lucky Guy with Tom Hanks that opens, I believe, this week. I'll Eat You Last, which is a play starring Bette Midler. And finally, a musical called Big Fish. So in total, a guy who was not in Broadway 3 years ago now is in 16 productions. It could just add up really very, very quickly. So Broadway is the ultimate entrepreneur's dream. It's a real hit or miss. It's one of these things that if you hit, you can hit it big like the Book of Mormon. Unfortunately, as you're going to see in this video, and when you hear Wendy speak, 80% of shows do not make money. So 1 out of 5, you know? Which one will be that 1 out of the 5? Will it be the Book of Mormon? Will it be Cinderella? Which one will it be? Will it be Annie? You know, so if you have that one, or if you have more than that, your odds go up. And being the accountant that I am, it's kind of a numbers game. It's kind of like you play the odds, you play the percentages, you try to bet big on the ones that are big, and hopefully you don't lose too much money.
I have 2 business ideas basically that I want to talk about. They are sort of related I mean, they are related in my mind, but I mean, I'll have to explain how. And then the first one is something I'm kind of working on now, like I want to do it like starting soon. And the second thing is something a little bit more in the future. So let me try to go through them quickly so I can show you the pictures. The first thing is I want to start my own makeup business, just, you know, me, service. And I want to focus on bridal makeup, basically because, well, first I want to also focus on bridal makeup and in my community. I live in the Jewish community around here, Brooklyn College area, you know, and I don't know if anyone here is from that community, but people get their makeup done for everything, a bar mitzvah, an engagement, a wedding, and everyone has like big families, so it's worth it for me because I know people, they know me, you know, it makes sense, and people will spend a lot of money to get their makeup done. As long as they're looking good, they don't really care how much it costs. I mean, within reason, but you know. So that's what I want to get started on. I started getting interested in makeup, you know, whatever, like any other girls. It's about that time I realized, oh my gosh, there's so much on YouTube, so everything kind of worked out at the same time. And it's just me playing around, basically. I do my friends, I do like my family members, but lately I've like been thinking, you know, you should start doing something real with this. So what I'm thinking about right now is focusing on two things. The first thing is getting a little bit more professional training. Not that I'm like worried about my skills, but for like flash photography and everything, there are tips and tricks. You want to make sure people look good on camera because these are their wedding photos. You're gonna be looking at it for years to come. So I just want to make sure I have like the professional training to know what looks good on camera, especially with HD video and everything now. Like it picks up all your mistakes. And the second thing is just working on building up my kit because I want to have obviously professional tools and also a wide range that can, you know, cover all the skin tones and the different looks people want, different colors, things like that. And if you want a lot of the good stuff, it's going to cost a lot of money. So I'm like slowly building it up. And I hope to be doing it, you know, soon. You know, starting out on, let's say I have a wedding next Tuesday, all my friends are going. They're like, oh, can you do our makeup? So like it's going to be like that. And you know, I send people off. Like if anyone says you look good, say me, you know. So that's what I'm starting now. That's the makeup business. The second thing I want to talk about is that's what I have pictures for. Is when I was thinking about like, oh, you know, I have to present an idea. I know I like to do makeup. Is there anything else I also really like? And this past Sunday was actually a Jewish holiday called Purim. If you saw any people dressed up very weird, that's why one of the customs is to dress up. So I realized like I've been taking this holiday seriously for a long time. Like most people are like, I put on a hat, I look cute, okay, whatever. I realized I love dressing up. It's not just about glamour makeup. I like that too, obviously that's why I want to do the bridal stuff. I just like transforming myself. I like the costume, I like the makeup, I like the hats, the accessories, I like this stuff. I don't dress like that in a normal day, but when I get the chance to, I like to go overboard and I like to make homemade costumes. So I realized, you know, I've always liked costume, I've always liked design, but I never really felt like I wanted to work within, let's say, like the theater or the fashion industry. So I thought that the business I want to start is a wholesale costume business that would service, it would be like a rental and a custom order kind of business where, let's say if you're like a school putting on a production, schools, I'm thinking of like parades, people that they need like bulk costume orders, and they could come to me for that. And also, you know, tying in the makeup idea, you're going to be on stage and you need a costume. You also need the professional grade theatrical makeup, so having it all in one place would be a really good idea. I actually saw a site online that has similar services. I don't think they have the custom made to order things, but they do have the service of like, you know, you can order for like plays and stuff, and it was a really smart idea what they did, that they also listed the costumes by production. So if you're doing, let's say, Annie, you just click on Annie and they have all the costumes. If you want a specific look, it's not just like, oh, you know, the 1900s girl, if you want Annie's costume. So I'm thinking of doing something like that. That's why I'm kind of saying it's a little more for the future, because I don't know if I can necessarily start that now in college, but I'm thinking about it. And I have some pictures here just to show you of the last few years when I started to get really into making my own costumes for myself. So the first few pictures are when I was in 12th grade. I was 17, so I dressed up as a peacock. It's so weird, my face is so weird. I didn't make the mask, but I did make this feather plume thing behind me. And here's a little bit of a close-up on the makeup. And I walked around, everyone thought I was crazy, but I loved it. It was like amazing. I think, okay, you can see the blue lips here.
That is spectacular.
The next year, this year, okay, I was away for a year. I was abroad in Israel last year, so I didn't have so many tools on me. So I just took whatever makeup I had. I was like on a moving bus when I put this on. It was a little bit crazy, but I dressed up in a very leopard-inspired look. So I made like those gloves and the scarf and the head thing, and then I just, you know, borrowed from people, and I was a leopard. And then this is this year. This past Sunday. I dressed up as a butterfly. I spent like Everyone's like, no, you didn't make that. I'm like, yeah, I did. They're like, you're crazy. I'm like, I know, whatever. It's fine. So this is basically the dress I made. You can see the nails match, and then that's the face I did, and I did the hair piece also. Okay, I have very weird pictures, but the most detailed ones I was making funny faces. So, and that's the nails, and that's the makeup. So actually, I figured while I'm here, I might as well promote myself. I have a YouTube channel where I do the beauty kind of things. I uploaded this morning a how-to on how I made the costume, so if you actually want to make a butterfly costume for some reason, you can go up there. It's like a 12-minute video, and I won't be putting up all the rest of it. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/allrightbeauty, like ALLRIGHTBEAUTY. Nothing spells funny. There's no X's and
Well, you email that later and we'll send it around.
all right, yeah.
This
So
is spectacular.
it's just me. Most of the videos are like me sitting on the floor talking about like my eyeshadow, like every other girl. But this one I actually spent a while editing, so hopefully it's gonna be good. So that's basically what I like to do. I felt like showing the visuals of what like I get impassioned about would make it a little easier for you to understand what I like the makeup, but I like the crazy stuff as well. So those are my business ideas. Do I have another 30 seconds though?
Go ahead.
Okay, because I'm done with that. I actually have something else I just wanted to show quickly. It's on the same PowerPoint. I also make homemade cards. Obviously, I like these, you know, creative kind of things. And I know at the end of this semester we're going to be selling some things, you know, like the jewelry and all that stuff outside of campus. So I figured if I have the time to create it, I'll just show you some of the things I do in case you want to like order from me or whatever. I like to just make, you know, like greeting cards, birthday cards. Most people want birthday cards more than anything else. So I just do it as a hobby, but I don't like this is baby cards. You could see. I like just giving them to my friends. There's no like, you know, nothing special about it, but I like to make it, and if I have time, I will like have, you know, set up cards, like basic ones that people like for the end of the semester, so I can sell those. But yeah, so if you need me for makeup services, you can come to me, and if you need me for card services, you can also come to me.
I think customized costuming. How many, better show of hands, like our idea? How many would you like to, of you would like to invest in Sarah's idea? Okay, so
Oh, wow.
great validation. Your
Oh,
fellow
I think I might
students want to invest in you, think it's a great idea. Something long overdue, customized costumes.
Well, I
and
think
we'll
I would do like both, meaning like there are certain things that people always want. They always want like that like little newsboy costume and an old lady big dress, or like all those things that you know you want. And then yeah, but like if I don't have what you want, you can always ask me and I'll make it for you. I feel
Yeah.
like
That's
I
a
don't
great-
actually know how to make clothes. I'm just gonna figure it out.
Well, you have to find one of your fellow students, the clothes maker, but you're the
Yeah.
makeup and the
Figure it
clothes.
out.
Great idea. Thank God. All right, so while we're waiting for the video, which is really a CNBC special that was just done about 2 weeks ago, which I thought was really riveting, and it's certainly one approach to Broadway. It's not the only approach, but certainly I think they did a really great job in presenting this thing. So I'm going to give you a little bit of heads up. I think I'm allowed to do this, but this is the advertising and marketing for Cinderella. So I'm just going to give you some of the tie-ins, some of the things that us as producers end up doing. So we have a Times Square billboard that's going to begin on March 25th, one of these huge billboards in Times Square promoting the show. We're going to be on all of the different television shows, Good Morning America, Good Day New York, Channel 5. There's going to be a huge post-opening blitz as far as TV commercials. How many of you see an inordinate amount of commercials for plays, especially during the morning hours? Do you also notice that these are 15-second spots? They're usually, you know, either 15 or 30-second spots, and they generally run, you know, during the morning hours, which is a very interesting time, you know, certainly for people who are going off to work and that want to see their play after work or get reminded about it. But there's a lot of advertising on Broadway. It seems to be one of these non-stop. We're doing a wine sponsorship with Diego. Once Upon a Vine wine sponsorship. We're doing a WNBC Dream Date. So these are all partnerships that we're doing. Cinderella was also famous for on-stage proposals. People came up afterwards and they proposed to their girlfriend on stage. So it's again all of these upsells that we're doing. We're doing a MasterCard priceless special with MasterCard and Cinderella. So there's lots and lots of opportunities, which is why I jumped into it in a very big way. Okay, let's put on the video.
If the show with Buffy Annie, which has been on Broadway before, going
Right.
again.
It's called The Revival.
It's a revival, but like who owns the rights to it?
We actually pay a licensing fee
Oh.
to the original people. That's correct.